Okay, here we go. We're just going to go over the test review. We'll just go over each of the questions, and then you should be good to go. Test is Wednesday or Thursday for the Austin group. I'll let you guys take it on Wednesday. Packer group, you're not going to be able to take it until Thursday when you are sitting in class. That way we've got a little bit of a chance that we can review kind of together. So the first one, credit card A is running a promotion where they will charge 0% interest for the first year, then 8% compounded continuously after that. Credit card B has an interest rate of 7%, also compounded continuously. If you are going to make a $500 purchase and plan not to make a single payment for 2.5 years, which credit card should you go with? Write an equation that shows a total balance after 2.5 years. Okay. So you got 0% interest charged on that kind of that first one. So let's kind of look at that first one. 0% interest for the first year, and then 8% after that. So, so essentially we've got this $500. We've got this $500 card, okay, that we're going E because it's compounded continuously, but we're only going to be charged 0.08%, so that's 0.008. And now it's 2.5 years for total, but we're only really going to have it at 2.5. We're only going to have it at 0.8% for really, because they don't do it for the first year. So really, that's just going to be 1.5. So you could write that as 2.5 minus 1. Okay. If we do that, that ends up giving you $506.04. The other one, you have a $500 purchase at 7%, so 0.07, but now that's at 2.5 for the whole time. So 0.007, I'm sorry, 0.007, and that comes out to $508.83. So obviously our C is the better of the two. That's the card we should go with. Question uno. Question 2, write the logarithmic form. So these writing as a log. So we're going to go log base 125 at this point. I could be done, but I'll keep going. Log base 125 of 625 equals 4/3, which is C for question number 2. Question number 3, write the exponential form. So it's in logarithmic form, so this would be a plus b to the 16th equals C, which is A. You need to be careful when you're doing these. Make sure that you pick the right ones. They can be a little bit confusing, so take a couple seconds to make sure you get the one that you should be getting. The log, so this is just calculator press. So just hit log, turn your calculator on first. Log of 0.01 is -2. So that's just B, nice and fast with that one. 5, same thing, just a calculator thing, really. If you want to do it in the calculator, you don't really have to do this one on a calculator. The answer is just going to be 3. But just to double check, just hit ln, second ln to the third, close a bunch of parentheses, and you still get A. Anytime you would have, realistically, this would be log base E of E to the third. Kind of, if you think about this, it'd be E to the X equals E to the 3. They have the same base. So since they have the same base, X is equal to 3. Okay. Fast way to do those. Number 6, use natural logarithms to solve this. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is isolate the exponent. So we've got 8e to the 4x plus 8 equals 15. So I'm going to divide by 8. So that gives me e to the 4x plus 8 equals 15/8, and I'm just going to leave it like that. It's in exponential form, so that's log base e. We have to write it as a logarithm of 15/8 equals 4x plus 8. Log base e is the same thing as ln, so that's ln of 15/8, which is just on our calculator, equals 4x plus 8. So go into the calculator, ln 15/8. Now we're going to solve. That's just a number, so we're going to subtract 8, divide by 4, and you get negative 1.843, which is C. Okay, so isolate first. Okay, so you got to get those, whatever's being risen to the power, you got to get those taken care of first, and then you can go from there. Number 7. Okay, it's already isolated, so it's in exponential form. So log base e of 3/4 is going to be x. So really you're just doing the ln of 3/4. ln of 3/4 is negative 0.2876. So probably in the directions above that I kind of probably cropped out. It probably told us what to round it to. Either way, it's A. Okay. Number 8, write an expanded form. Okay, so we've got 11, we've got log base 3 of 11p to the third, so we've got a multiplication of 11 and p to the third. So I could write that as log base 3 of 11 plus log base 3 of p cubed. But I've got that p cubed because remember when you multiply, you add. We're going to rewrite this as log base 3 of 11. Log base 3 of p to the third, the 3 can come out front, and log base 3 of p, which is C, I believe. Yep, C is our answer. And really, again, process of elimination, you could have eliminated A, B, and D like right away to get that answer. Because you know multiplying you have to add. Number 9, write as a single log. So I'm going to write the first one. I'll go log base B of log base b of q to the third plus log base b of v to the sixth. It's kind of the first step. Now you're going to multiply because you're adding, so the log base b of q to the third, v to the sixth, which is A. So your answer for that is A. Number 10, change of base formula. Change of base formula says that we take the log of the of divided by the log of the base. Punch it in your calculator. Log 91 divided by log of 3. 4.106, which again, we're on a roll here with A. Number 11, use a calculator. What's the value of log base 5 of 32? It's got to use the change of base formula again. So the log of 32 divided by the log of 5. Round to the nearest thousandth, so 153. So C. Cruising now. Number 12. Write as a logarithm, probably. You could write this as a logarithm, or you could give them the same base. You might do them both ways. So let's write it as a logarithm 4 first. So with log base 4 of 8 equals 4x. So that's the log of 8 divided by the log of 4 equals 4x. Clear. Log of 8 divided by log of 4. That's 1.5 equals 4x. Divide by 4. You get 0.375. Well, you got to kind of go up there, and that's 0.75. That's not. So 3 divided by 8 is that. So the answer is C. The other way you could do this one, that's one way to do this one. The second way you could do this one is you could get the bases the same. So 4 is 2 squared. So that would be 2 squared to the 4x. So this would be 2 to the 8x equals 8 is 2 cubed. So then that equals 2 cubed. So 8x equals 3. X equals 3/8. Either way works. Yeah, either way works. Either way, you get an answer of C. 13. Exponential form, write it as a logarithm. Log base 125 of 150 equals 9x minus 2. So we've got the log of 150 over the log of 125 equals 9x minus 2. So the log of 150 divided by the log of 125 gives something. So we're going to add 2 to that and divide by 9. And we get 0.3375, which is C, which is the correct answer. Okay, again, add 2, divide by 9. Solve this, round to the nearest 10th if necessary. So we've got expanded log. We need to write the left-hand side as a single log. So they're adding together. So this would be the same as the ln of 2x equals 5. Remember that ln is the same thing as log base e. So we've got, then write it as an exponential. So e to the 5th equals 2x. Just the calculator out. E to the 5th. And then you're going to divide by 2 to solve it. And you get 74.2, which is B, which is what you're supposed to get. Number 15. Solve that. Kind of the same basic thing, but we're subtracting this time. So it's going to be ln of x over 6 equals 0. So that's log base e of x over 6 equals 0. So e to the, that's a 6. E to the 0 power. E to the 0 power equals x over 6. Anything to the 0 power is 1. So 1 equals x over, let's try this again. 1 is equal to x over 6. X is equal to 6, which is A. Yay! Number 16. Solve again. So I'm just doing another one. I'm not going to write log base e this time. I'm just going to go e to the 8th is equal to 2x minus 1. So e raised to the 8th. We're going to add 1 to that and divide by 2. And you get 1,490. Well, at that point, I can just say the answer is D. 0.979. Number 17. Which equation represents this? So it's an exponential form. So I could write log base 19 of 176 is equal to x. Yeah. What is that the same as? Another way that you can write this, and we didn't talk about this too much, if I put log of 19x equals log of 762, those logs essentially, yeah, I mean, I've added them in there and I've done something that means the same thing and not really changed anything. So those are equivalent statements to each other. So the answer for this one is C. Yeah. It's just it's like adding one. If you add one to one side, you add one to the other. If you add log to one side, you add log to the other. You really haven't done anything, but just an equivalent expression. So just add logs to both sides. Number 18, what is the approximate solution? I'm not going to do one that looks like this. So the answer for this one in itself is going to be C. But this isn't one that we would really do. If we do this type of question, I'm going to do something like 4 to the 6x equals 2 to the x plus 2, where you can make the bases the same. So 4 is 2 squared, so this would be 2 squared to the 6x equals 2 to the x plus 2. So this is 2 to the 12x equals x equals 2 to the x plus 2. So 12x equals x plus 2. 11x equals 2. X equals 2/11 is your solution. That's not that right there. We'll do something like this instead on the test. And it'll almost be just like that one. Number 19. Exponential growth or decay. Quick question is greater than 1, so it's growth. Done. Like those questions. Interest questions now. Suppose you invest $1,600 at an annual interest rate compounded continuously. How much will we have after 4 years? So the PERT formula. So 1,600 equals e to the rate. So the rate is 0.046 times the times 4. So 1,600 times e to the 0.046 times 4, close parentheses around it, and you get $1,923.23, which is D. So that's the PERT formula. Number 21, compounded quarterly this time. So we've got 6,000 times 1 plus my rate, so 0.045, divided by its quarterly, I think. Yep, quarterly, so it's going to be 4. And then we have to take that times 4 times 8, power. So I go 0.045 divided by 4 plus 1. Then I take that to the 32nd power. And then I take that times 6,000, comes calculator stuff. So you get $8,582.71, which is C. Okay, so this one says the sum from 1 to 10 of 6 times 2 to the x power. So it's a little bit different, but I'll change this up on the test. On the test, this will say x equals 1 to 10 of 6 times 2 to the x minus 1. That's in the form that we've been dealing with. And I'll talk about the different form in just a second. But yours will be on the test, yours will be in this form. So our A1 is 6. Our ratio is 2. And the end value that we're going to have is 10. Okay. That's the form we've been dealing with, is that x minus 1 up there. So then when we solve this, you get S of n, or we're going to find the 10th term, but so S of n is equal to our first term 6 times 1 minus 2 to the 10th divided by 1 minus 2, and you get 6,138. Okay, and this is the type that we will deal with on our test. The question up here itself is a little bit different because it just says x. It doesn't say x minus 1. So realistically speaking, if you think about what my first term is going to be, my first term is going to be when my x value is 1. So that'd give me 6 times 2. So actually my first term here is 12. Okay. My ratio is still 2, and my n value here is going to be still 10. So if I did this one, our lead term is going to be 12. So S of 10 would be 12 times 1 minus 2 to the 10th divided by 1 minus 2, which is actually that answer right there. So when you see C in the back, that's why that one is C, is because how that is written. It's not written as x minus 1. And we just dealt with ones where we had that x minus 1 kind of as our exponent there. So on the test, it'll be x minus 1 up there. I won't leave it like that. I'll fix that on the test so that is how you are used to seeing it instead of like that one. And then we'll talk about that one next week maybe when we come. Number 23, what is the 5th term in the sequence? So this is where we have to do the 5th term. So we're going to find the 5th term. So our first term is 5. Our ratio is 3. And then we're going to go n minus 1. So it's going to be 5 times 3 to the 5 minus 1. So 5 times 3 raised to the 4th. 405, which is C. What is the sum of the 10 terms in this? So our A1 is equal to 1. Our ratio is equal to 2. Our n value is 10. So S of 10 is going to equal 1 times 1 minus 2 to the 10th power, all divided by 1 minus 2. 1 minus 2 raised to the 10th times 1. So 1023, which is C. There it is. That's the review.